absolute best. She's the savage. I saw her in the green room. I had to get her on. That was a horrible transition. Usually I'm pretty good at it. That was horrible. My bad, G. My fault.
You tried your hardest.
I know. I tried. Dude,
what's up today, guys?
What's up?
We're having a great, this is one of our best lightweight debate talks ever. So, but I have like so much stuff for you, G. But beforehand, I'll ask this simple question. You're in charge of the UFC. Who's the next fight for Ilia Topuria?
I'd probably have to say Arman.
Okay.
I know that they're not currently happy with him and they don't want that to be the play, but he's obviously most deserving at the moment. I would also be curious to see how like the Islam fight plays out, to see what happens after that, to see what would be next for Ilia as well.
Okay. Yeah. It does make sense. Arman is the number one contender, so that would make a lot of sense. By the way, real quick,
10 contender. It makes more sense than the number 10 contender.
It's the biggest money fight in the division.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that. I just think
and they don't like each other. It's a rivalry.
This worked at flyweight because Pantoja had already beat 1 through 10. This worked at 205 because there was just nobody that could fight Alex Pereira at that moment. Like it's just not the case at lightweight right now.
No, I agree with you. I agree. But Ilia versus Patty, and let's just be honest too. I think we all think the same thing. I think we all think Ilia beats Patty Pimblett, right? We all do. It would just Ilia to me right now is the biggest star in the industry. Bigger than Sugar, bigger than O'Malley, bigger than Islam, bigger than Aspinall. Jones left. To me, Ilia is number one. So if you give him against maybe one of the biggest stars in the business a win, another win, and it's a rivalry, oh my goodness, guys, we have Conor 2.0. Like we have it. So just throwing that out there.
I just don't see how a win over Michael Chandler gets you a shot, like a title shot. You know, I think that Patty needs a little bit more under his belt.
For sure. I think all three of us agree on that part. For sure. Real quick, guys, Saturday night, UFC 317, we had a watch along. Gillian was here in the Banana Studio. It beat every number. It beat our best watch along ever. Kick millions, YouTube, clips from it. It was the best watch along we have ever done. So shout out to everyone out there. And of course, shout out to Gillian Robertson for being in the building. So shout out. Dude, we got some fajitas beforehand too. We ate good.
Ooh, fajitas.
Hey, I'm just waking up now after the Sunday morning brew.
Dude, I said that to my wife. I've never been more tired in my life. Never.
Can't believe you guys. Guys, Dave is a gangster. Dave did island fights Friday night. Yeah. Didn't sleep. Drove home. Stayed up all day. Stayed up all night. Watched the fights. Watched the press conference. Like,
yeah,
psycho.
It was bad. I usually can. No, I was bad. I fell asleep Sunday during the day. Yesterday I even took a nap. I haven't got over it yet. But by the way, Island Fights was incredible. L and G, you will love this. L, you know this kid, that Matt Hafner kid, the flyweight. Yeah. He won the main event again. He's the ranked number one amateur flyweight in the country. He just broke the record. He's the number one amateur in the country. This kid is so good. So good. Him and Joshua Van 2028. It's happening.
Dude, we haven't even talked about Joshua.
I know. I've been waiting for G. I've been waiting for G.
I've been with Norm in the comment section.
Let me get this picture up. I think G will like this. Here we go. Let me push this button. I had it. I don't know what happened to the computer. Here we go. It's official, guys. Joshua Van climbs up to number one in the UFC flyweight rankings. He is Mr. Fight Bananas. We loved him on Saturday. We've loved him for the last couple months. 2 wins in 3 weeks. And not even that's just how he's winning, the dog in him, how he looked, how he communicated afterwards, what he even did with Pantoja. I loved how much they were cool with each other. Hey, we're going to fight for the championship. A very respectful. This is Joshua Van's world. We're just all living in it right now, guys. We're living in it.
Oh, yeah. I saw a stat today saying that he's the first fighter to challenge for a belt that was born in the 2000s. Like, just crazy to think.
Did you
I
see
was a junior in high school.
This kid is so young that he just knows Forrest Griffin as the PI guy.
Oh, God, no.
He was like, Forrest Griffin? Oh, the PI guy. It's like, no, not the PI guy.
The greatest fight ever, probably.
One of the greatest fights of all time.
Yeah.
He was also 2 during that fight, though. So
he gets a pass. How young he is.
That's so crazy.
It's absolutely mind-blowing. He's so talented. He honestly, like, there's some things that I see in Poirier that I see in Van of just how well he's able to stay in position. I feel like both of them just have that better than I see most fighters. They stay very defensively aware, just staying in position, and obviously he's able to find it. Those massive strikes in the middle, just has straight power.
It was, to me, it's going to be the fight of the year. It's one of the best fights I've seen in a long time. I've watched it back 3 times already. It's incredible. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It's just, and you can just feel it keep building too. And I think it was really, it was amazing how Van did get that knockdown with 20 seconds left in the fight. Just kept on building. It was a perfect ending to it. So incredible fight. The one thing I'll say is, were you guys at all during the fight one time or now after the fight be like, hey, Brandon, maybe one shot would have helped you. Maybe one kind of grapple in, maybe one try to push him against the fence, a clinch, maybe? Or were we just so in the moment and you're having the best fight of the year and just keep it going? And kind of sometimes the resolution or the verdict sometimes matters less than sometimes the moment, if that makes sense. Were you guys okay with Royval's kind of fighting style?
As a fan, I'll watch that all day.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care. I'll watch that. It was super entertaining. But from a fighter's perspective, I think it's always smarter when you make it MMA. I'm like, if you're going in there fighting a kickboxing fight, you're just limiting your skill set so much, just making them have to worry about so much less. So even if you didn't have the intention of finishing shots, just mixing in the thought of the takedown or the worry of the takedown is going to open up your strike so much more. So yeah, I think it's always an issue if you're not going in there fighting MMA.
Do you know what I noticed is I feel like he used a teensy bit maybe once or twice, but Royval kind of made his name on spinning attacks. Like, do you remember this nasty spinning elbow he had on Kai Kara France? Like,
yeah.
He used to implement that a lot more in his game, and I think that's another piece that we just didn't really see him use here. I don't know if it was just the pressure from Van that kept him from utilizing that more, but I think that's another facet of his game that we just didn't see on display over the weekend.
Also, I just think that, I can't talk about it. You guys can. So I think they felt the crowd was insane. I think the crowd knew first round, end of the first round. People were standing up in the second round doing that, like, hey, this is one of the greatest things ever. And sometimes you just get lost maybe in the moment, or, hey guys, this is something special. A good podcast. I'm coaching my 8-year-old son out there. When I know something good is going on, I just let it go. Sometimes don't tinker around with anything. I know that was a bad analogy, but I'm sorry. That was the first thing popped in my head. I just, that fight is bigger than the next fight. Does that make sense? Like, that fight for both of those men will live forever. That's a UFC Hall of Fame fight. That's an Izzy Gastelum fight.
No, yeah, I think that's hard to argue with, especially like that last moment. I'm like, it just Van being able to get that knockdown after 15 minutes of a war. I think that's hard to argue for fight of the year.
Yeah. So I don't think we're going to see anything else rival that this year.
We're 59 minutes and 55 seconds into the show. Can we finally say the flyweight champion's name, Pantoja, who defended this title for the 4th time, smash Kai Kara France? We're live in the studio. I looked at Gillian. I looked at Coach Mike. I got Pantoja via 3rd round submission. It happened to a T. Called that one. Only called the 9. I think I nailed. But insane. The one thing I will say about this fight going forward about Pantoja and Van is, like, I love Van's base, if that makes sense. He's so short and he's so compact and he's so sturdy. He's got, for how small and light he is, he's got huge quads. And I think that hip and his quads are hopefully going to try to get Pantoja off of him and stand for 25 minutes, which that will be an absolute banger if that's what they do. But I do see Van That's the only way that he can win. If Pantoja grapples Van, Pantoja will get the job done like he always does.
Oh yeah, it's like Pantoja does what Pantoja does. There's a reason he's number one. He's very good at implementing that game, and especially how he came out against Kai Kara-France in the first and the third. It makes it very, say, almost impossible to like keep him off you. He came in, was just like swinging hard from the beginning, got him up against the cage, so he doesn't really give him much opportunity for space. So it's like it's very hard to deal with, and if he's able to bring that pressure into a Van fight, and Van's, I guess, not able to catch him in those that first exchange, he's going to have a hard time just fighting him off.
I would love your take on that too. It's your teammate, and to me, it's right up your alley. I think I disagree with that comment though. I in a weird way, Pantoja winning will elevate Pantoja so much as he's starting to become over Demetrius Johnson as the greatest flyweight ever. And I think Van is so young. He has the time. He'll do a little Brandon Morano thing of like a little second tier comeback. I still think we can keep it going with Joshua Van. And I don't know. I think the UFC does not need Van to win that fight.
No, and Van doesn't need to win that fight. That kid is a superstar in the making, whether he wins the belt right now or in 3 years when he's had some more time to develop even more. And I'm so impressed with him at 23 years old because his composure in the cage is not something you usually see. Like looking back at my old fights, Grant's old fights, I don't know if you feel this way when you look back at your old fights, G, but just like, it's so hard to see a young fighter that looks so collected, so in the moment, and so just in control of his game plan and just seeing everything that's coming at him. And that's what I find so impressive about Van at this stage. And so I think there's just so much time for him to develop. Maybe he does need to develop a better grappling game. We don't really know yet, to be honest, because his takedown defense has stood up well against Bruno Silva and like Charles Johnson and other guys. But man, I think with Pantoja, I agree with what you're saying. I don't think the UFC needs Van to beat him. Pantoja has slowly, he's a steadily growing star. Like he's not, people didn't really care about him fighting as much. And then he had that amazing fight with Moreno. And it's like, oh, he's kind of on our radar now. And that was probably the best flyweight fight in history. That was an amazing fight. And then, beat Royval, beat Usyk. And it was like every time people were like, oh, this is the guy that's going to do it. Pantoja gets it done. And then now he's getting better. Like he had a really close fight with Usyk. There was some times he was in danger. He wasn't getting to the back as often. He didn't finish, Now we're seeing him finish guys like Kai Kara-France, whose takedown defense stood up beautifully against Amir Albazi. And it just shows, I think, Pantoja's level in comparison to the rest of the division, And so I agree with you. I don't think they need it to happen. I think Joshua Van will be a world champion. I don't know if he's Pantoja, but at some point that kid is going to have UFC gold. Like, he's just unbelievable to me.
You said something there, Elle, I'm going to come back on. The greatest flyweight fight of all time is Joshua Van versus Brandon Royval.
Yeah.
Now, I thought you said Pantoja and Brandon.
No, it is. At the time.
Okay.
I'm just saying at that time,
that
was the flyweight fight we'd ever seen.
Yeah.
No. Absolutely. Okay. That might be the best fight. One of the best. That's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Top 10 fight I've ever seen in my life. Like, stamp it right now. All right. Another kind of big ballpark question for both of you guys. I was debating about this earlier in the day. Someone said it, Greg, our main man Greg, said it earlier in the comments earlier. What was a better card? First fight of the night to last fight of the night, everything in between, moments, all this stuff. What was better? G, I'll start with you, then go to you, L. What was better, UFC 317 or UFC 300?
I'm having trouble remember the early undercard of 300. So my only basis off of 317 is that we only had one fight that didn't really hold up. Like every other fight was very entertaining.
Was better than we thought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, I can't remember if it was the same. I remember there was a lot of good fights on UFC 300, but I don't remember if it was the same how every single fight was a banger from start to finish, essentially.
What was that fight on UFC 317 that didn't hold up, G?
We talked about this. We all talked about this. We know.
Man, so classic.
Time for
Are you bringing
break.
up UFC 300?
I feel frozen there.
Yeah, L's frozen. I'm frozen. But so 300 to me was the Poatan knockout of Jamal Hill. Of course, the crazy moment was Holloway and Gaethje, right? Charles and Armand was a really, really good fight. UFC 300. Wasn't Yuri versus not Dominic Reyes, but didn't Yuri fight someone?
I'm like, you can't ask me what I was training this morning. You're gonna ask me what happened at UFC 300, man.
No, that's for sure. I just thought, and I know, it's no diss. We're not dissing UFC 300 because it was great. Oh, thank you, Rockage. Thank you, Sean. Thank you. I just felt like with Ilya moving up, what we saw out of Van and Royval, even like we said, Delgado, Terrence McKinney was just on the show. Those heavyweights banged at the earlier. I thought the Moicano and Benny was a solid fight. Peyton Tablet, who we haven't even mentioned yet, was such a good fight. He lost the first round against Lima, who's this really high prospect. And then Peyton turned it on for the next 2 rounds. What a great fight that was. I just thought the night was so good. I don't know. I know this is us being hyperbolic a little bit. I thought UFC 317 was better. I do. I thought it was one of the great pay-per-views I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely, like I said, from start to finish, there was really hardly any lulls in the card. Even like in the fights, there was hardly, everybody was there to fight from start to finish. And I was surprised that there was only 2 fight of the nights given out, 2 performance of the nights. There's 1 fight of the night to Van and Royval, obviously, and then to Poirier and
RoboCop
were the 2 fight of the nights. I'm like, I'm surprised McKinney and Silva both didn't get one too with the 30-second finishes.
Great. And it's funny you said that. We haven't even mentioned RoboCop at all. That knockout was, we were worried. Like, not trying to go there. We haven't seen anything really horrible, really, really horrible ever happen inside an octagon. You ready? The closest one is, to me, Ewing and Gapapova. I was fearful for her, like, that night, right? Like, I thought Hermanson was in, like, bad trouble. Like, you could tell it was a vicious knockout, and then that extra punch, Herb Dean was cooking or something, wasn't getting to our guy there. That was long. He was down for a while. And I don't know if you heard afterwards, the UFC were on him for a whole hour. They didn't let him go, didn't do anything. They tested him. So that was crazy. Yeah, I'm telling you, hot take. I know UFC 300 was good. I just, it's great. And I'm not dissing 300, but to me, UFC 317, to me personally, I felt like it was better. I loved it. I thought it was one of the great nights.
I don't think that's wrong either. I think the 317 really did hold up. But going back to Hermanson, I'm like, I was scrolling on Instagram the other day and I had a little suggested post and it was from him. And he posted like a close-up brutal clip of that knockout and like just saying like, sorry to the fans, didn't fight. And I was like, why do you gotta choose that clip, bro?
Yeah,
I'm like, it was like a close-up of him getting caught and then the hammer fist after showing his face. I was like, you could have just posted like a fight picture or something like that. You had to post your own brutal knockout.
That's brutal. We haven't even talked about that L at all. How insane was that knockout by RoboCop?
Yeah, dude, I'm very concerned about Jack Hermanson right now. Yeah. We're consenting adults. We get in there and do this thing, but I definitely think I think his days in the octagon might be numbered. I think his age is starting to show. He's one of those guys that has been keeping the pace on Father Time for a while, but eventually Father Time comes for us all. He is undefeated. And I think we're starting to see some of that after coming back, long layoff. Shoulder injuries are rough, you know. I think there's a lot you can't do. So it's probably a lot of time. Like he said, he spent a year training nothing, 0 training. I think that's tough, you know?
So both of you guys are professional fighters. And do you guys have when you are not training or not doing workouts, if so say, right? Have you guys ever dabbled in another sport or another activity of any nature?
Do I strike you as an athlete, Dave?
Honestly, same.
So when I was going with all this, I tried something for the first time today. It's been a craze. I've seen it for a couple of years. It's out there. It's super, super trendy and fun. I tried Susie and I pickleballed this morning.
I knew it.
It was one of the best things I've ever done in my life. It was incredible. It's like an adult ping pong. Like it's ping pong. It's less movement, but you still get the whack at the ball. It's got this great. Oh, I loved it. It was a great morning.
Of course, you're playing pickleball, Dave.
Dude, I don't say this young and beautiful forever, not doing nothing, guys. Come on, you guys are in the gym. I got to work out that Gracie jiu-jitsu a little bit, but I got to pick up something. Getting older, guys.
My dad plays pickleball. I bet he'd love to play with you.
Dude.
He turns 74 in 10 days.
So I was going to say, I heard it was a sport invented for old people so that they can like it's slowed down essentially. So like it would be good for you, right?
It'd be great. I'm sorry, Dave. I have a friend that he's a former professional baseball player, and he's like right at the end of his baseball career now, and he is like a pickleball fiend, and I constantly just shit all over him for it. So you had to get a little bit of that.
No, I get it. And I used to give crap too. Like I was like, you see it everywhere. Like anyone who's 50 years old, who used to be a little bit talented back in the day, they play pickleball now. I'm like, oh my goodness. But that's what I got for Father's Day. So I was like, let's give it a try. It was super hot today. I don't know about you guys down south. It is so hot right now. So we played around 9, 10 a.m. And you guys would be proud of me actually. This one, I wore a hoodie. No shirt underneath, just a hoodie. I lost 5 pounds. It was a great morning.
Oh yeah, it's sweating in Florida, man. This week it's been these last 2 weeks it's been super rainy down south.
Oh yeah, a storm's coming.
I'm ready for that sun to come back. That's all I need.
Yeah. Are you worried about any storms? I remember last time you got like flooded, didn't even know it was coming. I was like, yeah, we're going to Charleston, South Carolina.
It's been fine. We've literally never had an issue with a single storm here. Never had.
Weren't you flooded one time? You and Dalton Rosta was flooded.
No, the Miami airport flooded, but that's like an hour.
Oh, that's what. Okay.
From my house.
Okay.
I've literally never we had some heavy rain, but like we had no flooding in our house. I've never had an issue.
All right.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. All right, 3 last things. We'll let G go. G, she has been cooking for Fight Bananas. We absolutely love and adore G. We're off this week. There's no UFC this weekend. We can all kind of July 4th. I'm a big July 4th guy. Love America. Love summer. Love maybe a couple cold drinks. It's right up my alley for sure. But after that, UFC goes to Nashville. Actually, I love Nashville as a city. Decent, not like decent to mediocre card. After that, they go to New Orleans for the last dance, Poirier and Holloway. And then after that, it's the UFC Abu Dhabi card, UFC on ABC on the 26th, which is magnificent. 4 or 5, like extremely high-level fights. Guys, for the next 3 weeks, have you guys looked into those cards? Is there anything? Is it all about Poirier? Are we on the last dance tour with Dustin Poirier, or is there something else? Are we excited for Mosar versus Pico? How about Peter Yan versus Marcus McGee? Whitaker versus RDR? Like, that card is insane.
I think it's hard not to say that this isn't like the Dustin show coming up. I'm like, it's all about him. Like, he is just such a legend in the sport. To watch his last dance, it's like it's going to be something special.
Do you know what I'm freaking excited about? My girl, Carly Judice. I freaking love watching this girl fight. Love watching her fight. Dave, don't you dare make this face. Dave was like, she's 3-2. I'm gonna bet on the 6-0 girl. And that girl had fought nobody, and Carly smashed her.
You're right.
This girl came into the UFC with like just not a lot of grappling, but some of the crispest, like nastiest, just bat out of hell striking I've ever seen from a girl. Love watching her fight. I know Dustin knows her. She's from the same area. She doesn't train at ATT or anything. I just really like watching her fight. So that's a diamond in the rough that I'm excited about. I think Ikram Aliskerov and Bruno Ferreira is going to be really. That's a really fun fight. And dude, Dave, you didn't even talk about Brendan Allen and Marvin Vettori.
Oh, I was getting there. The
long-awaited.
Are they really not on the main card? Did you see they posted the main card at the pay-per-view and they're not on it? To me, that's the co-main event.
Do you know? I literally do not know one of the guys that's in the co-main. I've never heard.
Not the feature fight. The feature fight.
It
the
is
co-main. They had Ige and Pitbull.
Oh, it's Ige and Pitbull now. Okay.
I don't like that fight. Am I wrong on that, guys? I'm just not.
The Google schedule is all over the place. They need to update this. I was like, this can't be UFC right order.
I was gonna say the Google schedule is always all over the place. Honestly,
it literally has a 7-1 guy that I've never heard of fighting Robert Valentin for the co-main event. I was like, that can't be right.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah. They don't update the Google schedule until like the week of. Same with the UFC schedule. Even it's usually like fight week is when you really get the official fight schedule. Like, I feel like if you're looking for an event that's like far out, Wikipedia is always the one to go to. They always have like all the even question bouts maybe everything listed there. So whenever I'm trying to look up cards, I'm always going to Wikipedia.
Shout out. Yeah.
Shout out Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Dude, I go right to Twitter. I go to my main man, Big Marcel. I look him up, dude. He's got some great stuff. He's got that paper.
Technology is usually pretty up to date too. But see, they don't have the order yet either. Yeah. They have Michael Johnson and Daniel Zellhuber right underneath the main event. So that's not up to date either.
But that's a fight.
That's a fun fight.
That is a freaking fight.
Yeah, it's a fun fight. That should be the main event of the prelims.
Yeah.
Get you ready for the main card.
I agree. But so Marvin and Brendan Allen are not on the main card?
That's what it said.
Is it like the fight? Because you know how sometimes they'll put a really good fight at the end of the prelims that's supposed to entice you to buy the pay-per-view? Is that where they're putting them?
I guess, but guys, the main card is it's bad. It needs Brendan Allen and Marvin.
Yeah.
The UFC, they're a multi-billion-dollar company and they know what they're doing. They got Poirier and Holloway. Everyone's ordering that pay-per-view. I cannot wait till you watch it. We're all getting it. So they just know they don't have to put any, they're not giving us anything else. It's wild. It's kind of bad. By the way, are you guys going to New Orleans?
No. We can't. Unless Grant absolutely does not have a fight, we can't leave.
I know it's so horrible to me to do this on air, and we should talk off air about this, but I think the Van Alkens are going to be a little bit on vacation, but maybe that might be a watch along.
For maybe I'll fly in to.
No. The opposite. Maybe it's a watch along at the Dawson's house.
Not nearly as cool as going to New Orleans, but okay. Yeah, no, that might be something we can do.
I'm sorry. I'm the worst.
Charge of the button. Norm might get blocked.
Dude, don't even worry. You killed it, like always. So, okay. El, you missed it. Me and Gillian are on UFC 317 over 300. Your last take, and then we're letting G go. What are you with us, or is that too much, too quick?
Here, hang on. So 317. I need both cards pulled up. Give me a second.
You okay with this, G?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you need to go, tell me to shut up. Okay.
Because I can't think of three. Didn't Moicano fought Turner?
Yeah. No. But Turner fought Bobby Green. Send Bobby Green to the Shadow Realm.
I thought Jim Miller fought Bobby Green.
No, Jim Miller fought Bobby Green. You're right.
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
Yeah. Moicano fought Jalen. Come on.
I'm sorry. I was forgetting the
Whaley versus Yan Shannon.
Wait, on UFC 300?
Yeah. That was the featured fight.
That's right.
I know.
Holloway and Gaethje.
Yeah.
Armon and Charles, which wasn't a
good fight.
But good fight. Bo subs, Cody Brundage.
Oh, that's horrendous.
That kind of just was like,
Yep.
That was not a great fight.
No.
Yuri and Alexander Rakic was a
good fight. That was fun.
Aljo and Calvin Kattar was okay. It wasn't the most exciting fight. Good performance by Aljo.
317.
Kayla had a really good performance against Holly.
Okay.
Diego Lopez and Sadiq Youssef. That was a good fight.
That was fun. Diego Lopez.
That
card was awesome.
But I mean, it was a minute and a half long, but it was still fun.
And then Moicano
and Turner was honestly, that was a good fight. Moicano and Turner.
Good comeback.
Jessica Andrade fought Marina Rodriguez.
Dude, did you see Marina Rodriguez's last fight? It was not a good fight for her.
Not a good night for her.
Saying.
The opening prelim was freaking Davison Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt.
But that fight wasn't that good though.
It was like I think 300 had like bigger names.
But the better night of fights was UFC 317.
What I was gonna say. Bigger names, but if we're just looking at entertainment value, I think 317 was a better card. I'm agreeing with you guys.
Okay, look at that. 3 votes for 317. That's it. We declare it.
It's probably going to be event of the year. No, I'm not SG. I'm sorry. I'm the other way. 317 was better. Like
Joshua Van, Terrence McKinney, RoboCop, Pantoja, Ilya Topuria.
Dude,
like
it was a night. It was a freaking night.
And how good did Tracy Cortez look?
SG says cry face. Sorry, SG. Awesome. You're usually my dog, but
I know.
I gotta be on this.
All right. L and G. Jeez. You're like kids. I say the wrong name all the time. G, you're the best. We love you. We appreciate you. Saturday was awesome. Our most watched live watch along of all time. I don't want to say it was all me, but I think it was a lot of Gillian the Savage Robertson. We gave away. I literally just sent out your signed gloved to that guy Tyler was killing it in the comments, subbed it. So we had a great time. We appreciate it. Thank you for the giveaways, and we'll see you soon. We'll talk to you soon, G.
I'll see you guys on Sunday.
Morning Brew every Sunday, 10 a.m. All right.
Oh
man.
I'm totally supposed to tell you that Grant had a dentist appointment at 2:00, and I completely forgot. But he's going to try and make it back in time because it should be a short one. So his plan is to be here by 2:45, but we don't.